75-year-old Svetlana Hansen relies on her pension of $873 a fortnight. She also works 6 days a week as a carer.
I love my job. I love my people because I have mostly vulnerable old people.
But for every dollar Svetlana earns over her allowed threshold of $480 a fortnight, she loses 50 cents of her pension, which brings that down to just $186.
You're trying to find, going shopping, what is on special, and I need money. I'm the pensioner.
Svetlana is one of just 3% of pensioners who also work through retirement. National Seniors Australia is campaigning to bump that number up to allow those with little savings or assets to work as much as they like while still getting the full pension. It would bring us up to speed with countries like New Zealand and Germany.
I should go on with dignity with my life, and if I am still active, I am still able to work.
On paper, it looks like a great move, with industries crying out for workers in the face of record low unemployment.
We need additional workers, and we do need them from all sort of cohorts across society.
But could it cost other job seekers more opportunities?
And there are certainly other groups across our economy, including younger workers, women, women from migrant backgrounds in particular, where potentially we could focus on lifting their participation.
Young people, they don't want to do this job. It's very poorly paid, but it's not an easy job.
But with cash-strapped seniors already struggling to get by and jobs going begging, is this the solution to Australia's work woes?
Ian Henschke is from National Seniors. It says that on his shirt. This is the organisation that's behind the campaign. He joins us now. Ian, I get the idea of this and what it's trying to achieve, but youth unemployment is sitting at nearly 10%, which is much higher than the general level. If the government's going to be spending money on something like this, shouldn't that be where it's directing help?
Well, National Seniors Australia is talking about a change to the pension system that will benefit the whole economy. This is going to benefit everybody because a lot of the jobs that we're talking about are in administration, home care, aged care, regional Australia, these areas where there's a desperate need for workers and businesses simply can't fill them.
Other people, Ian, that I would assume would fit really well into those roles would be women or other younger people. One economist says that this plan would cost around $15 billion. So could it be potentially an argument there for it being better off going towards cheaper childcare to help more women get into the program or get into the workforce than this?
An economist says this plan would cost $15 billion. Well, that's news to me because Deloitte Access Economics wrote a report called The Grey Army Advances, and they said for every 5% increase in worker participation of the over 55s, it would add $48 billion to the GDP of Australia. So I'd love to see that economist's report, and I'll get Chris Richardson to have a look at it because he wrote the original one.
But that assessment wouldn't factor in continued pension payments, would it? That would be saying that the pension payments are offset by those people working, or does the report specifically contemplate your plan?
Only 2.9% of pensioners work in Australia, 25% work in New Zealand. When you look at those figures, you can clearly see that we've got a system in Australia that pushes people out of work, doesn't encourage them to work. I think you'll see that there are people working in home care in their 70s who rent houses, who struggle with the rent, who live in poverty. This is a brilliant policy to address pension poverty. We have a pension poverty problem in Australia where 25% of Australians who are on the pension don't own their own home. 500,000 only have the sole source of income as the pension, and if they work more than 1 day a week, they lose 50 cents off their pension. So, I mean, this is a ludicrous policy that has to change because we've got a worker shortage, businesses want workers, pensioners want to work, pensioners are in poverty, everyone will benefit from this policy. So I think you could ring fence it if you wanted to, but why don't we just do it for a few years, see if it works? It works in New Zealand. I mean, there's no reason why it shouldn't work here. I mean, if you've got 25% of over 65s working in New Zealand, you've got the same in Sweden, the same in Canada, the same in the United States, even more in Japan, even more in these other countries. And in Australia, we've got 2.9% of pensioners working. Doesn't that tell you there's something wrong with this system?
Ian, it's always good to speak. You've been characteristically forceful. Thanks very much for speaking to us tonight.
Thank you very much. Good on you.